All right, let's start at the top with a quick introduction into B2B sales, business to business sales, and what this looks like. Most of us probably never interact with a B2B sales professional on a daily basis, and it's a bit different than the retail salesperson at the mall that you might be thinking of. It's definitely one of the most common professions out there, and you can be wildly successful, make a ton of money going into B2B sales, whether you stay as a salesperson long term or transition into another career path. But let's dive in and take a look at what business to business sales looks like. So when we say B2B sales or business to business sales, what we're talking about is a business selling to another business rather than a company selling to individuals like you or me. And you might be used to interacting with a salesperson today at a dealership maybe, or in a store, or calling you at home. But again, B2B sales isn't selling to consumers like you and me. They're selling products to other businesses that need solutions. And business-to-business sales is literally everywhere. And we can look at a pretty simple example here when we think about the staying at a hotel. And just imagine for a second the last hotel you stayed at. You, as a consumer, paid the hotel to stay in a beautiful room like this. Maybe you had a great view. But everything in that room came from another business, right? Imagine yourself laying on this comfy bed here with super soft, clean sheets, with nice carpets, beautiful TV, a great desk. All of that came from another business, right? The hotel isn't building beds in the back of the store or the back of the basement. They're not installing that carpet themselves, not buying the TV sets or making them. What they're doing is another company sold all of this stuff, or companies actually sold all of this stuff to the hotel room, right? The beds, the carpets, the TVs, the toilets, the pens, the papers, the cups on the table, all of that came from other companies. And there's a salesperson at each one of those companies that sold that product to the hotel. The salesperson that sold the beds, maybe they sold 10,000 beds to Marriott last year. They might have made $5 million from that total deal. Maybe that actual salesperson made $1 million off of that deal. It can be extremely lucrative when you're selling products like this at scale to very, very large companies. But just think about this the next time you walk into a hotel or a restaurant, any place of business. Most of the things you're interacting with in that environment came from another business. And that's what we're going to be talking about business to business sales here. So, most of the companies we just named, most of the products we just named in that last hotel example are from manufacturing type companies, right? They're making a physical product, like a bed, and then they're selling that to the hotel. And while all of those manufacturing companies definitely have salespeople, for the rest of this program, we're going to be tailoring our material into the technology space. So we're going to be looking at B2B sales, but B2B sales with technology companies. And tech companies are some of the fastest growing companies on the planet right now. They're amazing places to work at. And everything from here on out will be preparing you to both interview and get a job at a tech company. That's not to say that it's not transferable into any other types of sales, but there is some nuanced differences. So we're going to focus on tech companies. So let's dig into this. What is a technology company? And when you think of a tech company, you might be thinking of consumer brands like Apple selling you an iPhone, or Google in their search engine, maybe Facebook. And you're not wrong. All of those are tech companies, but on the consumer side of what we probably think about in our daily lives. What we're thinking about, or what we're talking about in this program, is business to business sales. So remember, in the B2B sales, we're talking about companies selling to other companies. So when we say a B2B tech company, we're talking about a tech company making some sort of technology product and then selling that to another company to help them in their business. And that could really mean one of two things. It can mean help them make more money, aka sell more of whatever they're selling, or spend less money, be more efficient with their expenses. So let's talk about this. Why do businesses need technology? Why is this even a thing? Well, running a business is really hard. And sometimes you need a solution. You need a solution to a problem you're having in your business. And instead of building that solution from scratch, it's often a lot easier to go out there and buy an existing solution to help you solve that problem. Remember, in our hotel example, the hotel isn't making beds for all of its guests. They need a lot of beds. They're going to go out and buy some beds from a bed manufacturer. Awesome. Same thing in the tech space. One example we can look at that you might recognize is the company Zoom. Zoom's been around since 2011, building virtual conferencing rooms, but you probably never heard of them until last year or so, when the entire world started using Zoom. And recently, almost every company, university, really any business or organization has started embracing these virtual meetings as an alternative to meetings in person. And when you think about how this came to be, let's say you're a university and you're like, oh, we need to host all these classes online. Well, there's two routes you could take. One, you could hire a bunch of software engineers, spend millions of dollars, spend months, maybe years, building your own virtual meeting solution. Or you could go by Zoom for about $100 a year per person. And when we think about that, for most companies, 90% of the time, it's going to make sense for them to just go buy an existing solution that's already out there in the market. And we're talking about Zoom here, but that applies for every aspect of a business, for sales, for marketing, for finance, for operations, HR, literally endless possibilities or opportunities to take some sort of technology company, build a product, build a solution, and sell that to another business to solve a problem or pain they're having. And we can look at this in the hotel space as well. And you might be thinking, well, where is their technology in the hotel room? And it's actually everywhere today behind the scenes. Housekeeping staffs are probably using some sort of tech to schedule room cleanings. There's software that's tracking all the bookings from the hotel website and partners to track all the revenue coming in. And then there's software at the front desk today, right? When you go check into a hotel, somebody's sitting there behind a computer using some sort of software that they bought to help check you in, track room availability, give you an upgrade, whatever you need. And we're going to be looking at one company in particular called Canary Technologies. Now, Canary is a software company that's revolutionizing the hotel industry right now. One of their key products is contactless check-in. So they've created a mobile app that allows guests to check in from their phone, pay for the room right from their phone, eliminates the need for room keys, eliminates the need to ever interact with anybody at the hotel, because now you can do it all from your app, from your phone. And they're a great example of a tech company that's really just taking over this old school industry and these old school processes inside the hospitality industry. And we're going to be coming back from time to time throughout this whole course as we look at how a B2B tech company goes to market, how they sell, and how the SDR role functions.